Welcome back to the Writer's Block. I have calmed down, I have had my coffee, and I'm now ready to resume with the spirited Colin Channer, novelist and artistic director of the Calabash Literary Festival. And Colin, where were we again?
We were talking about self-publishing.
Right.
And what I wanted to say was that I can understand how the local market might make a lot of people feel as if they have to self-publish, because there are not that many publishers locally. There are not many publishers out here will publish anything other than a cookbook or a textbook, right? But at the same time, there's a reason why people all around the world self-publish, which is because they feel that their voice deserves to be heard. No, I don't think that every self-published book is in bad shape. Just like I don't think every book that's done by a mainstream publisher is in good shape. But with self-publishing, you don't have the objective opinion.
I understand
right
that,
there.
really.
So what I'm saying is that with that's one of the reasons why Calabash ends up not programming lots of self-published writers.
Okay.
But you find that self-published writers will appear in the open mic.
Yes. Well, fair enough. I mean, you know, I'm not going to belabor the point.
Right,
I mean,
right.
fair enough. I understand. I mean, but as long as you can find a mechanism. I mean, because if someone writes a book and has it published, then and you have a festival. I mean, I don't know. There's some kind of mechanism that allows somebody to filter and say, well, this one, it is worth it. I mean,
that's the bookstore.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, because here the thing is this.
Not necessarily, because they you know, for all kind of reasons. But the question was whether or not you had a mechanism of that.
Right, yeah. But here's the thing I want to make together. When a writer decides to become a self-publisher, the writer is not becoming a business person, right? And when you decide to become a business person, you have to take on selling whatever it is that you make. So I'm saying to you this is that, and I'm saying it to everybody who's listening, that self-publishing is not as easy as you might think. Anybody can get a book printed, but when you get 100 boxes of books delivered to your house, and there are 60 copies in each box, you start realizing you don't have that many friends who will buy a copy.
Right. And that is a very important point to me. That publishing is not just getting the book printed and your friends smile and come around, because all the friends want a free copy anyway.
They want a free copy anyway.
So publishing is a business.
I consider self-publishing waiting in vain, you know.
Yes.
And that had to do with a bad experience I had with a publisher in Jamaica.
Okay.
Where the publisher had the book for about 3 years, didn't do anything with it. And then I took it back from the publisher and said I'd try and publish it with myself. But, you know, I thought about it a little bit more and said, you know, I would get a publisher, and I went to the US, and then the book was published by a division of Random House and blah, blah, blah.
I will know the story. But let's move on from that.
Yeah, man.
We have a few other things we want to talk about. I don't want to go back in this now, but let's just talk about this. There's this argument, though, that there's no market for fiction in Jamaica. Or rather, there's no market for Caribbean fiction. How do you respond to that?
I disagree with it.
Okay.
I think that there's definitely a market for Caribbean fiction, but Caribbean fiction isn't marketed. I think a lot of times publishers, especially local and regional publishers, will put the books into a distribution system and not have the promotion material. When was the last time you saw somebody advertising a book on TV?
Good point.
Or advertising a book on radio?
Or a billboard.
Right, on a billboard. Right.
Cool.
So I think a lot of publishers are just not adventurous enough, not brave enough, and just not savvy enough to figure out a way to sell these books. I think that when you come to Calabash, for example, you see people bring bricks of cash to buy books. Now they're buying Caribbean books, they're buying Jamaican books, they're buying the books of international authors. But what you see there is evidence that people are willing to spend. One, if books are properly displayed. I mean, Novelty Trading Company does an incredible job in the way they put display books in a bookstore. That if people can have some kind of experience where they can connect with an author, they'll buy the book.
So Calabash sells a lot of books?
Absolutely.
About how much, you know?
Calabash sells, I don't want to quote the figures incorrectly, but but I can tell you this much I know, that there's not a single occasion in the Caribbean where more books are sold in a day. You'll have more books sold at Calabash that might be sold all across Jamaica for the rest of the year. Okay.
Let me digest that a little bit. And that is okay. Let's move on from that. So we agree there are a lot of books that are sold. And there's a lot for book sales in general. But are we talking about Calabash, and let's get to it a little bit. When is this year's Calabash? What is the date?
Oh, Calabash 2010 is May 28th to May 30th. So Friday, May 20th to Sunday, May 30th.
May 20th to 30th.
3 days and nights, readings, cinema, music, free and open to the public.
Will you be having any activities around that, like seminars before, the week before, as you normally do?
Well, this year, we're going to go straight into the festival. Because what we've done, we've introduced something new at the festival last year, something called the Cafe Series, which are these small group interactions at the festival, right, on a veranda at Jake's. So people can have the breakaway moments to talk about issues around publishing, the business end of publishing. So things that would happen separately at the seminars are now happening at the festival in the Cafe Series.
So you'll be bringing in, let me call them adjunct
Absolutely,
people.
agents.
Yes.
We're bringing literary agents from France, local publishers, that kind of thing, right? So then people who are interested in finding out how publishing works can just come to the festival. In other words, instead of having 2 steps, a publishing seminar before the festival at university and then the festival down at Jake's, we've put things in one. So the direct learning experience at the seminars and the indirect method of the festival and reading and stuff is in one stop.
Okay. You have a particular theme for the year? Or?
Yeah, the tag every year at Calabash have a tagline. And this year it's so much things to say, you know. And in fact, it's also the name of an anthology that's coming out, which is 100 poets from the first 10 years of Calabash. So people have been coming to the festival for years and they've seen all these great poets. We asked the poets to submit. And these are poets who've read at the festival, but also people who've come through the workshop. And Akashic Books is putting out this wonderful anthology. The poems are arranged in small, medium, and large, and extra large, depending on how much time you want to spend with the poem. And we're really proud of it because so many people from the workshop have the work published, just like in 2006 with Iron Balloons for the fiction writers. So much things to say.
That's interesting. So you have gone through 100 poets in your 10 years?
Absolutely.
That is amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah, man.
Well, before I get to that, though, I mean, who are coming to Calabash this year?
Oh, this year?
Give me the list.
Oh, let me get an idea. Some of the people are going. Let's see. Nobel laureate Wole Soyinka from Nigeria is coming to Calabash. Nami Moon from South Korea is coming to Calabash. Billy Collins, former poet laureate of the United States, is coming to Calabash. Sharon Olds, Russell Banks. 2 other Nigerian writers coming are Helen Habila and Helen Oyeyemi. We have Christina Garcia from Cuba. We have Diana Macaulay here from Jamaica with her new novel Dog Heart. Good. We have Christian Campbell from the Bahamas, young poet. Aishan Hutchinson came at the Calabash Writers Workshop, young poet. Helen Williams, first novel from Jamaica. It's a young adult novel, and we're really proud to have some young adult fiction this year. Good. Michael Holgate, who many of us know as an actor and a choreographer, has a new novel. So those are some of the people.
How many writers are coming in?
Oh, man, maybe I would easily about 40. Freddie McGregor is playing music.
Okay.
There's Etana is going to be at Calabash Chino. Because we have music, we celebrate music as well. You know what? We're celebrating Trevor Rohn, who passed away. Trevor's been a great supporter of the festival, and he's still supporting it in spirit. And what we're going to do on Friday night, we're going to show Smile Orange outdoor, under the stars. Yeah, man. People must see Smile Orange.
Okay, so Calabash sounds good this year.
Yeah, man. I think it's going to be the best Calabash ever, and the support has been really, really great from the tourist board, from Flow, from the Chase Fund. So we're in a good place, and we're just happy that we've been able, as Jamaicans, to bring to the people of Jamaica for 10 years a public festival that they can be proud of.
You touched a bit on the products that come out of Calabash.
Right.
So talk a little bit about that. What are some of the things that have come out of the festival?
What do you mean, things that when you say
well, the successful writers, publications, and so on. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't want to sort of brag about Calabash, you know what I mean? I feel kind of strange, but
Colin does not want to brag.
No, I don't want to brag about Calabash. No, but I mean, come on, look. Here's the thing. Let's see. You know, 2 anthologies have come out of the festival. Iron Balloons in 2006, a fiction anthology, which made the cover of the art section of the New York Times. So Much Things to Say, an anthology of poetry, is coming out in 2010. In 2005, we had the Calabash Chapbook series, where 6 of the poets out of the workshop got their first books. I mean, Andrew Stone, Garfield Ellis, Mbala's first book, Saffron's first book came out of that. 2 more. We've had, Marlon James came out of the first Calabash Writers Workshop. He now has 2 novels. You know what I mean? He's now a professor at Macalester, one of the best colleges in the U.S., teaching fiction. Aishan Hutchinson came with the Calabash Writers Workshop, got a scholarship to NYU, to the MFA. First collection of poetry is coming out. Good. So, though that's successful, but I think also too, it's just what it has done for the community of Treasure Beach, where Treasure Beach now has a different kind of profile. People in the community have added on extra rooms to their houses, which they rent out in festival time, and they rent out throughout the year. So there's been a lot of economic activity in Treasure Beach.
What have been some of the general public responses to the festival?
People love Calabash, and I think they love it for a couple of reasons. One of them is that it allows them to have an experience with the arts that doesn't ask them to change their personality. You can come in there as any kind of Jamaican and feel welcome. Other thing too is that it's a part of Jamaica that many people feel that their grandmother would remember. A lot of parts of Jamaica really changed, but Treasure Beach still feels like old Jamaica in that way. And the other thing too is that Calabash makes people from Jamaica feel proud that we can do things to an international standard, but still have a cool running vibe.
All right.
Them check for
you. Colin, boy, as usual. Time just goes. I have a producer at the back there who says, we have to cut it here. And it is really a pleasure to see you. It is good to see you.
It's a pleasure to be here, and I think the show is an amazing show.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, Colin, thank you for stopping by the Writer's Block, and we hope to also be at Calabash. And when you're passing, just touch base with us, because we hang out. It's a hangout spot. It's not a stuffed shirt sort of spot. It's a hangout spot. Okay, that was Colin Channer, the novelist and artistic director of the Calabash Literary Festival, which is celebrating its 10th year this year. Thank you very much for viewing. This is Garfield Ellis, signing out from the Writer's Block.